It is me, Regigigas, the almighty land manipulator, solely responsible for creating the beautiful Regirock, Regice, and Registeel. I now will create my final subject, made from my grand image, made up only from the hottest lava in all the lands. With a little pressure, I bring you Reggie! Uh-oh. Heatran. His name's Heatran. I should have stopped at 3.
Regigigas, in my opinion, is one of the most aesthetically pleasing Pokemon to have ever been created. Hailing from the Sinnoh region, this Pokemon was idolized due to its vast power and strength. It is known for shaping the Pokemon world as we know it, and creating possibly thousands of Pokemon who inhabit the world. But do you know how this Pokemon was created? Today, we are going to uncover the interesting story of Regigigas, and all of its mysterious history. Without further ado, let's get into it. It all started from the beginning of time. If you guys have not seen my origin video about Dialga or Arceus, you definitely should, because it gives you insight on how time was created. Regigigas was one of the first legends Arceus created. Arceus created a handful of legendaries to control and oversee certain aspects of the Pokemon world. For example, Dialga and Palkia were created to oversee time and space, while Groudon and Kyogre were created to oversee land and sea. In this case, Regigigas was created to represent and oversee the Earth and its construction. In Pokemon Legends, it is said that Regigigas would move continents with ropes to create its ideal landscape. Its great strength would be able to bend rocks and create mountains. That's pretty insane. It makes me wonder why this Pokemon isn't the strongest Pokemon of all time. And even weirder than that, it still has the same base attack as Slaking, which kinda gives me a whole new respect of the sloth. Nonetheless, Regigigas is incredibly strong, and made the Pokemon regions as we know them today. Regigigas is also a creator of Pokemon. In the Pokemon world, there seems to be quite a few Pokemon who have the power to create other Pokemon as well. It's kinda like a family tree starting with Arceus, and it keeps branching into other families. As we all know, Regirock, Regice, and Registeel all were created by Regigigas to be alike in his image. These 3 Pokemon are based off the Hebrew legends of the Golem. The legends speak of golems being brainless pawns created by someone holy. If a holy person was close enough to a god, they too would have the power to create life. With that being said, there is also speculation that Heatran was created by Regigigas as well. Due to its dex entry and how immense pressure formed this Pokemon, it also leaves me to believe that Regigigas created many more Pokemon as well, but I'm gonna come back to that. In ancient times, the people of Sinnoh saw how great Regigigas was, and how its power was like that of Arceus. This gained Regigigas much praise and worship all throughout the region, and at one point in time, a massive volcano erupted in Snow Point City. This once beautiful city was turned into a lava-filled ruin. Regigigas restored the city by destroying the volcano along with the Regis, and was praised further by the townspeople. Oddly enough, after saving the town, Regigigas and the Regis turned into stone. When the townspeople saw that they were transformed, instead of worshipping the great Pokemon further, they decided to lock them all away, with Regigigas in the Snow Point Temple, and with the Regis in Hoenn, encoded with Braille writing. Shout out to my friends who remember the Braille struggle, and trying to crack that code. Honestly, Game Freak, this is a hint, you need to do something like this again. Now, I have something that I want you guys to give me feedback on. I guess you could call it a theory, so comment what you think down below. Because Regigigas had the ability to manipulate mountains, and also can create Pokemon, do you guys believe it is a possibility that Regigigas created other Pokemon as well? For example, Rock Pokemon, Ice Pokemon, and Steel Pokemon? When you look at Pokemon in these categories, some look completely made up of these elements. For example, look at Onix. I mean, he's completely made of boulders. Just like Heatran, maybe he was made from pressure. The same would go for many other Pokemon. I don't think it would be too far off to say. What do you guys think? You know, I'm just gonna put up a picture of Dora here because I feel like I'm always saying, what do you guys think? And having you guys say something to the screen, so yeah. Alright, moving on. Looking at Regigigas, its base stats are pretty mediocre. But for a legendary, they're awful. There's really no sugarcoating this one. But for an average Pokemon, they'd be great. Its base HP is at 110. while its attack is at 160, which is fairly high. It also has a defense of 110 and a special attack of 80, which in my opinion is really low for a legendary. I get this guy is more physically strong, but Arceus kind of crapped out on this stat. It also has a 110 special defense and a speed of 100. Its base stats make it pretty low on the tier list. With Mega Pokemon into consideration, Regigigas sits 30 plus Pokemon down the base stat tier list, and I can only imagine what a Dynamax Pokemon looks like compared to this. Just remember your Mega Garchomp could probably move a continent too, considering its base attack is at 170. To end things off, Regigigas' name origin is based off the Latin word regi, which means royal, and Gigas, which is Greek for giant. Honestly, Gigas is such a cool name, I think I'm just gonna say that for giant now, so Gigas, he's Gigas, alright? Regigigas most clearly resembles the Japanese mythical creature Gyarados, a Gigas who manipulated mountains and created lands. Its footsteps were so great that each step created lakes and ponds. In one legend, this Gigas picked up Mount Fuji and Mount Tsukuba to see which one was heavier. In the process, he accidentally split the peak of Tsukuba after he was finished. Well guys, that pretty much sums up everything about Regigigas. If you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe, because there's really nothing left that I have to go over. I mean, there were a ton of other appearances of this Pokemon, but nothing that really stood out in its origin. Like always, Pokemon fans, take it easy, and peace out. Make it turn. Subscribe.